Bad little flex, she wanna know me. I stay low key, all gas, no brakes. Baby, let them hoes sleep. Body on 10, make your girl OD. I get in my way, never out of my lane. Feel like you the one and I'm on one. So what it's gonna be? Baby, squad up, we finna go deep. Riding on a team, got what you need. Baby, won't you keep me company? Give me something to do when I get lonely.
Hi guys, so I am in Philadelphia for the summer. I have an internship here that I'll tell you more about in a different video. But since I'm here for the summer, you know, I had to visit the Philadelphia Museum of Art. I went yesterday and I had a great time. It was very hot. Nobody told me that the museum was at the top. Like, the entrance is literally at the top of the rocky steps. Like, you have to like Eye of the Tiger to the entrance. But once I made it in, it was amazing and I had a great time. Not the entrance to the museum, it's the rocky steps. Once I made it into the museum, I was pleasantly surprised with everything that the museum had to offer. First of all, they had a Mary Cassatt show that was actually ending, I believe, this weekend, and I got to see a lot of her work. She's deemed as like one of the most prominent figures in the Impressionist movement and that style of painting back then. So that was great to see a lot of her work up close. I actually just learned about her in school earlier this year, and it was really cool to be able to see a lot of her work in person and just kind of like see like why this was such a huge movement at that time and why so many artists were painting in that style. The museum also had a couple Picassos, they had a couple Monets, they had a Matisse. Like, I was actually really surprised with how much this museum has in their collection. I really wasn't expecting that, honestly. I don't know what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting to see that many things. But like I said, I went for the photo exhibitions, of course. So they have an exhibition of photographs of works made throughout the 70s. One was called Transformations, which was basically a joint show with a lot of different photographers. And then the second show was entitled In the Right Place. Transformations is a joint show featuring many artists, and it basically documented how the 70s was a turning point in solidifying photography as like a true form of art. So Transformations really documents that change and that shift in society, and actually showing that photography is that girl, you know. Photography deserves to be talked about within these art, you know, conversations. So this exhibition really highlights some of the diverse ways that photography flourished during this era. And the second show was entitled In the Right Place, and it was made up of 3 women photographers: Barbara Crane, Melissa Shook, and Carol Tabeck. I wasn't previously familiar with any of their work, but I was inspired by their approach and their subject matter. I really resonated with Melissa Shook's portion of the exhibition because she documented herself with within her home. And the project that I'm currently working on in my personal work is about the mundane moments of everyday life inside my home. So I thought that it was really interesting that someone from the 70s was also documenting themselves in that way as well. So it was kind of like one of those reaffirming moments, like, okay girl, you on the right path of, like, you know, furthering, like, talk about yourself and furthering, like, these type of subjects. Carol Tabeck's was really interesting as well. I like the way that she used the film strips to display her work. She also talked about how in a previous exhibition, or like in the exhibition she's had before, she's put the film strips up with like tape so that the viewer can rearrange them in the way that they thought best fit, you know, their narrative or what they thought the subject of the work was about. So I thought that was really cool and interesting way to have the viewer interact with the work and not only just look at it and say, oh, what was the artist thinking. They can also kind of give their narrative to the work as well. And Barbara Crane's was really interesting. So she basically set up her camera in the doorway of, I believe it was a natural science museum. She set up her camera in the doorway of a facility and basically photographed the people coming in and out of the place. And so I thought it was really interesting, kind of like a case study of who visits this place, you know, what type of person, what are they wearing, are they fashionable, are they kind of like a low class, middle class, high class. Like, I thought that was a really cool, interesting case study on a place and the people that visit that place. The Philadelphia Museum of Art also had an exhibition on chairs. It was called Take a Seat, which I liked. It was basically understanding modern chairs. I thought it was interesting to see the thought process behind the design, and it's just like another layer of like how art is just comes in many different forms and different things that you don't really consider until you see it and you're like, wow, that is art. Like, to design this type of thing that's not just like painting or drawing, it is an element of art that sometimes I think is overlooked. So overall, I had a really great time at the Philadelphia Museum of Art. I'll definitely be going back since I'll be here for the full summer. I'm excited to see other photography exhibitions they have coming up, and honestly, just all of their programming seems really good over there. So I'll definitely be back and I'll document it all for you guys.